Hello everyone. I simply love Mexican food. But when I moved to Vegas 8 years ago from California, where we have some of the best Mexican food north of the border, it was difficult to find a go-to spot to satisfy my cravings for great Latin American cuisine. I listened closely to friends and local advertising and tried all the places they recommended. But sadly, it was all hit and miss. Mostly miss. After all, I grew up living very close to the international border as a kid and spent much of my time crossing into Mexico to experience real, authentic Mexican food. I also lived in Mexico City for a number of years in my early 20s and trained under some great chefs. Well, eventually, I have found a number of restaurants here in Vegas living up to my high standards, and we're taking you a few of those today in this review. I'd like to introduce you, in no particular order, to my 4 favorite places. They're all off-strip, hidden gems, popular among us locals. Many of our listeners have written comments asking us about top Mexican food in Vegas. Well, this review should answer all those comments. Okay, let's get started.
Lindo, Michoacan
is one of the most popular and loved Mexican restaurants here in Las Vegas. We're here today at their newest incarnation, El Toro y la Capra, which is quickly becoming loved for its wonderful Mexican and Italian food. Today, we're here on a Sunday to experience their all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet. Just entering the restaurant, one is immediately struck with a pungent and delightful aroma of chilies and garlic. I think we're the only non-Hispanic guests here. Everyone is speaking Spanish, and I feel as though I've made another border crossing into Mexico. They have a wonderful live performer who's incredibly talented, singing and performing beautiful live Latin American music. The buffet is one of the best all-you-can-eat bargains in town for only $32. While the variety seems limited, you have to keep in mind this is a Mexican buffet and not the Wynn or the Bacchanal, and everything is made from scratch, so that greatly adds to the authenticity and the overall experience. It makes up for there not being Korean-inspired edamame or frog legs thermidor over radish polenta. Just good old-fashioned, classic, homemade Mexican food. These are some of the best and freshest aguas I've tasted in quite some time. The watermelon and cantaloupe, probably my 2 favorites, but pineapple, also excellent. If you're a lover of homemade bread and conchas, as I am, then this is going to be a carb lover's paradise. They make everything they serve here from scratch: tortillas, yeasty bread, and heavenly conchas. I could eat nothing but this bread and be a happy boy. The bread is some of the best I've ever tasted. Look at these air pockets. It has a wonderful hard crust and an airy, yeasty interior. The conchas, so fresh, and taste even better than they look. So many times conchas can be disappointing, being heavy, dense, or flavorless. But these are surprisingly light and beautifully sweet, with a wonderful rich vanilla flavor. You're going to love these. This is one exceptional bowl of menudo. Deep, rich, savory, and spicy. So full of beautifully cooked tripe and hominy. The flavor of this rich soup takes me back to my days spent in Mexico. It's rare that you can find menudo this good in the States. Top it with fresh lime, cilantro, onions, and a little dried oregano, and it's a warm bowl of comfort. I just really love this. Homemade tortillas, stuffed with fresh, delicious shredded chicken, and then rolled and fried until delightfully crispy and brown. The condiments on the side are fantastic and include cotija cheese, salsa verde, and rojo salsa. The verde is warm and fresh homemade. It's a mild green salsa prepared with green Anaheim chilies and tomatillos. The rojo salsa is a force to be reckoned with. Toasted dry red peppers are used to give this sauce an amazing zesty flavor, and it's very spicy, definitely not for the faint of heart. It's as wonderful a salsa as any I've ever tasted south of the border. Dip the flautas in either sauce and top them with cotija cheese and enjoy. They're fantastic. They have so many great things at this buffet. I love the chilaquiles. They're the most popular breakfast food you'll find in Mexico. Here, they offer both red and green, and they're both terrific. The fried cactus is also very flavorful, and the rice is well seasoned with bold Mexican flavors. And the beans are creamy, made with real lard, the way they're supposed to be. Just sensational. Here we have eggs and verde sauce, chili Colorado, chicken tinga, beef and chicken fajitas, and my favorite, chicharrón verde. Every one of these items is not to be missed. Grab some of these fantastic homemade tortillas and dive right in. Chicken tinga is so authentic you'll feel like you're back in Mexico. The beef fajitas, deep, warm, savory flavors, and I love the charred, almost burnt flavor of the peppers and onions, which have been perfectly sautéed. The chicken fajitas are every bit their equal in the flavor department, just fantastic. The chili Colorado is remarkably hearty Mexican chili, made with tender, juicy chuck, and it's packed with flavor. The chicharrón verde is my favorite. It's made from the wonderfully fatty skin you see many times fried up to make a crispy snack. The chicharrón are cooked in a wonderful sauce of tomatillos, garlic, onions, toasted green chilies that are all blended into a smooth sauce. The flavor is breathtakingly umami-rich and delicious. The fantastic taste of pork skin and fat, along with tender, juicy pork meat, is a perfect pairing with these fabulous homemade tortillas. This is my favorite thing here at the buffet. All in all, El Toro is a wonderfully friendly place, very family-oriented, and of course, with excellent authentic Mexican food. You'll feel as if you've been transported to another place in time, somewhere in the heart of Mexico. You're going to love this place. Smack in the middle of our hip and trendy downtown stands a little gem of a restaurant that everyone who likes fresh, homemade Mexican food should know about. Letty's is not overly well known by locals, even though it's been featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. I've been to a number of restaurants featured on Triple D, and many have not been all they're cracked up to be when you watch the show. Well, let me tell you, on this occasion, Triple D got it right. And so, why it's not better known to locals is a bit of a mystery. The food is magnificent. A place where the unusual and the traditional coexist without losing the plot. I love the playful presentation of this dish. Besides, who wouldn't want this oversized goblet of mole? I know I sure do, and I don't plan to waste a single drop. I've been told I made an amazing mole in my restaurant from very picky customers, and this reminds me of the one I used to make. It's fantastic, so well balanced. There's an art to making a good mole, and Letty's has the best I've tasted here in Vegas. I spent a lot of time in Oaxaca, Mexico, and I learned from some very talented chefs the secret to making good mole. I'm not going to tell you that secret here, but I do consider myself a mole aficionado, and this is a masterful example. The shells in these taquitos are amazing. They're so crispy and light, and not at all greasy. And I hate hard, brittle shells that shatter into a million pieces the moment you touch them. Well, that doesn't happen here with these. They're fantastic. And they're also filled to capacity with chicken, and the chicken is perfectly seasoned. Not at all salty, yet far from bland as well. It's as balanced as the mole. These are simply tremendous. I love them, and so will you. A must order at Letty's. Crispy corn exteriors made from scratch with masa. There are a number of possible fillings, including chicken tinga, cochinita pibil, beef, or pork. They're topped with crema, queso cotija, and a slice of escabeche jalapeno. Served with an amazing salsa verde, bursting with fresh tomatillo, garlic, cilantro, and some of Letty's delightful secrets that give it a unique and amazing flavor. Once again, with one bite, I can close my eyes and I'm south of the border in the days of my youth, when my friends and family would cross into TJ to get authentic homemade empanaditas like these. I've been to so many restaurants here in Vegas who claim to be authentic, but let me tell you, these are the real deal. To make most others you taste this side of the border pale in comparison. The pibil, so well seasoned and tastes so fresh, very juicy, and just the right amount of spice to it. The seasoning is perfect. I totally recommend the pibil in or on anything here at Letty's. This beef, also delicious, perfection on a plate. It's slowly cooked till it falls apart, and so well seasoned, you can tell it was not just boiled, as many Mexican places make it. The chicken has such a pure, clean flavor. I know it may sound strange, but I always think of chicken as having a clean taste when it's well prepared, and such good quality as this. Chicken tinga is shredded chicken cooked in a sauce made of adobo chilies, chipotle, and sliced onions. This tomatillo sauce really brings out the subtle background notes of each of these empanaditas and plays so well with the tortilla's salty tartness. I'm loving these, and our whole experience so far. These enchiladas are my favorite dish here. We ordered the carnitas and the chicken Suiza style. For those who don't know, the Swiss, or Suiza style, is named after Switzerland because of the pristine white peaks of the Alps, symbolized by the white Mexican crema on top of the enchilada. There's also a verde sauce along with the crema. The carnitas enchiladas come with a tamarindo sauce that's just superb. It's sweet and tart, and it's one of the best sauces I've ever tasted. The rice and beans also deserve high praise. They're sensational. All in all, just a fantastic dish. Being a part of this review, you already know Letty's is one of my favorites. As I'm sure you've noticed, the superlatives have been flying fast and furious. What can I say? Every once in a while, you come across a restaurant where every dish is so excellent, you can't help but to gush about each one. The food at Letty's is first rate. After eating all the dishes, I thought to myself, this is what I've been looking for since I moved to Vegas nearly a decade ago and thought I'd never find. You'll definitely want to place Letty's on your bucket list, and you'll be thanking us when you get here. I love this place. La Vecindad is right off the Las Vegas Strip, hidden within an old strip mall. You'd never expect to find such a hidden gem in this unusual location, but you'll be glad that you did. This mom and pop restaurant opened in 2016. The theme of the restaurant is based off the old Mexican sitcom Chespirito. In fact, if you've ever seen the show, you might feel like you're on the set, living the experience as a Chespirito character takes your order. One of the unique aspects of this restaurant is their many food challenges, such as La Super Torta Cubana, a giant sandwich that's filled with a huge assortment of meats and a fried egg. If you finish this monster of a sandwich in under 23 minutes, it's free. Otherwise, it's $45.99. And if you're up for a spicier challenge, there's the Fire Molcajete, $44.99. Finish it in under 18 minutes, and it's free. While these food challenges can be a lot of fun, we come here for the Wednesday all-you-can-eat taco deal, $24.99 for all the tacos you can finish. They have 6 different varieties from which to choose: asada, pastor, chorizo, chicken, cabeza, and carnitas. We usually get 2 or 3 of each, but you only need to eat 7 to get your money's worth. Anything beyond that, and you're totally making out in the deal. The taco de pastor is fantastic here. Pastor means father, as in priest. They were invented by Lebanese immigrants who came to Mexico and wanted to make their beloved shawarma. They couldn't find the exact ingredients they had in Lebanon, so they improvised and used what they had available in Mexico. And so, what we today know as pastor was born. Carnitas, fried pork, very popular in Latin American culture, super juicy and fatty, in other words, delicious. Carne asada is grilled, marinated, and perfectly seasoned steak, seared till it gets a nice char on it, then chopped up and put into a homemade tortilla. Chorizo is seasoned ground pork. It's made from unspeakable parts of the pig, minced together and seasoned with garlic, ancho chili, paprika, oregano, cumin, clove, cinnamon, and coriander. They also have a wonderful cabeza, which is the meat from the cow's head and is a delicacy in Latin America. Of course, we can't forget the amazing chicken tacos. Very well seasoned and fresh, it's delicious grilled chicken with a nice sear on it. All the tacos can be topped with chopped cilantro and onions and come with plentiful cut lime on the side. La Vecindad offers excellent Mexican food, as well as a fun and lively atmosphere. It's the type of place you just like to be. In addition, one of the things I love about this restaurant is that nearly every element is made on site, including the tortillas, the salsa, and the 3 hot sauces. You don't often see that these days. As for the tacos, my personal favorites are the pastor and the carnitas, but you really can't go wrong with any of them. And on Wednesdays, it's an unbeatable deal to boot. The last place on our list is Los Lupes 2. It's located at 5255 South Decatur Boulevard. It's one of the first places I found when I moved here. Los Lupes 1 is a sister restaurant in Mesquite, Nevada. It's insanely popular. Los Lupes 2 serves up some of the best and most authentic Mexican cuisine this side of the border. They have homemade chips and salsa, which alone are enough to put them on this list. I'm obsessed with the pickled carrots as well. They may be some of the best I've ever tasted. These are the kind of salsas you find in Tijuana. As I mentioned before, that's where we often had Mexican food when I was a kid. And Los Lupes reminds me of that wonderful food you can only find south of the border. The salsas are all amazing. I could eat nothing but chips and salsa here and be content. Here I had the wonderful blended lime margarita. Very fresh and sweet, but not too sweet. It's just perfect. It can be made with top shelf or regular tequila. We also have this fresh strawberry margarita, and it's sensational. I highly recommend the fresh made margaritas here. They're just terrific. The fajitas include steak, shrimp, and green and red bell peppers, brought out to you sizzling in a cast iron pan hotter than the Earth's core, and they're off the hook good. I honestly think they put Juan's Flaming Fajitas to shame. The prawns are wonderfully fresh, one bite and they come to life in your mouth, figuratively that is. I love the charred flavor they've infused with the chilies and onions. The taste is breathtaking. Really love these. This is my all-time favorite thing to order here. It's the sample platter.
Un poco de todo.
A little of everything. This taquito is sensational. You can have it with either chicken or beef. It reminds me of the food I got in Mexico as a kid. The flauta, the flour tortilla, stuffed with shredded beef and deep fried. Wow, it has so much deep, rich umami flavor. You dip it into Los Lupes' fantastic sauce, just makes it all that much better. The taco is chicken today. It's so light and crispy, and filled to the brim with fresh, wonderful shredded meat. And add to it some of the fresh tomato sauce they make in-house, and I promise you're going to love it. There's a beautiful enchilada hiding under all this delicious sauce and sour cream. Wow, it's just what an enchilada should taste like. Warm notes of chili in the sauce, and a fabulous filling. The rice and beans here, some of the best anywhere. Just perfect. Custard and I go way back. We've been in a wonderful relationship ever since I can remember. In fact, I've rarely met a custard I didn't like. This is one of the best flans I've ever tasted. So rich and creamy. I love the chocolate sauce. The texture is light and firm and reminiscent of a wonderfully buttery custard with rich notes of vanilla and a strong lingering sense of caramel. This is a great way to end a meal. Los Lupes 2 is a rare find and a hidden gem unknown to most people in Vegas. If you're looking for an authentic taste of Mexico, well, you found it. After growing up so close to the border, spending so much time in Mexico, learning from amazing chefs, and having so many Mexican friends who are great cooks, it's been a pleasure to experience great, authentic Latin American cuisine. In other words, I've been spoiled. When I first moved to Vegas, finding Mexican food that was up to my high standards was a daunting task. Well, I eventually found some places to satisfy my cravings, and I'm so happy to share them with you today. I hope today's video helps you find great Mexican food here in Vegas. You can't go wrong with any of the restaurants in this review, and I hope you get a chance to try them all someday. Who knows, maybe we'll see you there, and don't forget to tell them Let's Eat Vegas sent you. I know we're all guilty of watching YouTube videos and not participating. Please like, comment, subscribe, or even become a VIP member. It means a lot to us, and it helps us grow and to bring you more reviews. Until we eat again, bon appetit.